Welcome to MS Money and Mayhem. Today we are talking about money, we are talking about business. Now, I want to tell you something that you may not have heard before, and that is that you do not have to be the most amazing salesperson to have a successful business. And in fact, some of the best salespeople I know actually hate selling, and they have some of the most successful businesses. I've heard it a few times where people have said to me that they think in order for them to start a business or to grow a business, they need to be a natural salesperson or that they have to be a pushy, persuasive, aggressive person. And that's just not true at all. And in fact, actually, that can really put some people off. Sales isn't about being slick, it's about being really clear about what it is that you do, and it's about being confident in what it is that you're offering. So, for those of you who are sat there and thinking, I need to do some sales training, what my message to you is that actually you don't. You just need a really clear and well practiced message that you get across to potential buyers. Every business owner should be able to clearly explain three things: who it is that you work with, so your target audience, what problem it is that you address, and what solution it is that you're offering. So, as an example of a clear, defined message, when I meet people that I don't know or I'm meeting them for the first time, I will go through my pitch, which is I'm an on demand business partner. I work with small business owners and I help them to grow profitable, successful, structured businesses. So I support them with all of the business stuff and allow them to actually get on with the thing that they enjoy doing, that they're experienced in. So whether they be a joiner, an engineer, or a door fitter, I support them to do that bit really well. And I just work in the background and I do all this other stuff to make sure that they're compliant whilst helping them to get past the chaos. I sometimes call myself a chaos coordinator, and then help them to get to where they need to be. And that is literally it. So my target audience is small business owners. I look for people that are struggling, that maybe don't understand the business side of things, but they're really good at what they do. And my solution is that I step in and I do that for them. So I don't go in, I don't call myself a consultant or a business coach because I'm way too much of a control freak for that. I don't go in and advise and then leave them to it. I get in, I roll up my sleeves and I just crack on and get it done, so that they can crack on with what they need to get done. And then that way we're on fire and we're working to a good end. Now, the other thing that I need to make clear, I have worked in sales for years and years and years. And I've had people that'll say to me, "Oh, it's all right for you, Kirsty, you're really good at selling." And to an extent, I would say I'm okay. But I can only sell what I believe in. So I always joke with people and say I actually worked for Clark Shoes for I think it was 5.5 years. So I worked there through uni. I worked there a little bit afterwards. So I went on to be a teacher. I hated it. I quit. I went back to Clark Shoes for a little while. And I always say I could sell Clark Shoes to anybody because I believe in the business. I believe in the shoes. And so it's an easy sell for me because I love the products. I wear Clark Shoes still now, although people pick on me all the time, but I love my Clark Shoes. Um, but I've had issues where I've been working with businesses and it's gotten to a point where I either didn't like the values of the business because they didn't align with mine, or I didn't like the offering, or whatever reason. And then at that point is where I can't sell it anymore because I don't believe in it. And then I think, well, if I don't believe in it, why am I pushing it on other people? And particularly because I worked in care for 20 years, I've always thought, if I wouldn't let this company work with my own family, why am I inflicting it on somebody else's? So for me, it's always been about, belief in something. And it's the same. So if you go out networking or you're making calls, like cold calls to try and get business, it isn't that people buy from you because you've had years and years of sales training and you've suddenly honed and you've learned all of these tactics like the yes ladder and all the rest of it. It isn't that why people buy from you. People buy from you because they trust you. So it's that whole kind of know, like, trust. So people have to know who you are to buy from you. They need to like you to a certain extent, but that trust is a really key element. And so I say to all of my clients, if you genuinely are passionate about what it is that you're offering and you're looking at it and going, actually, I'm really proud of what it is that I do and how I help my clients, that genuity really comes across when you're then speaking to a prospective client. And I've seen this so many times. So I have a client who works in IT, and he will sit there and openly say that he hates sales and he's terrible at it. However, I remember seeing him at a networking event, and one of the clients there was a charity. And I won't mention him by name, but a lot of people will know who I'm talking about. But he went over and spoke to this guy afterwards. And I was like listening into the conversation, and I heard him say, "Do you know that as a charity, you don't actually have to be paying for some of these licenses that you're using? You can actually get them either free or really heavily discounted." And he saved that client a fortune. Now, he didn't do it as a sales pitch, and he wasn't doing it because he was like, "Oh, yeah, so this quarter I need to make this much money. So I need a new client to buy this many licenses." He'd literally heard this guy speaking, knew that it was a charity, had then opened a conversation. And as soon as this guy had started telling him what their setup was, he immediately went in with, "Actually, I can help you there." And because of that honest, genuine, I'm going to call it a pitch, because even though he didn't realize that's what he was doing, that's exactly what he was doing. I've identified your problem. This is my solution. I can help you with that. Now, he didn't see that as selling. And that's what I'm trying to get across is it doesn't have to be about selling. So when you're speaking to people that could be a prospective client in the future, all you're doing is getting to know them. You're very much aware of what it is that you offer and what your service is, and that's not going to be for everybody. But if you can identify the problems that are out there that you can fix, and as soon as someone mentions one of those, you're prepared and you've got your pitch ready to be able to go, "Oh, I've spoken to you about this. I can see that you've got a problem and this is how I can fix it." But you have to be passionate about what it is that you're offering. So that's my honest opinion of everything that I've seen. And I've seen a load of people that I call used car salesmen. And I wouldn't necessarily say that they're particularly passionate about what it is that they do. They're probably passionate about the commission and the money that they're making, but they're not passionate about what they're offering. But they will go, and it's kind of like throwing mud at a wall until it sticks. Or I also call that spray and pray. So you'll target however many hundreds of people to sell to, with the knowledge that, the law of probability is that some of them will convert. But, that's a very kind of hollow way of selling. And I wouldn't say it's particularly rewarding. And as a small business owner, it's really time consuming, labor intensive, and quite demoralizing, because you're going to speak to so many people that say no, rather than fine tuning what it is that you're offering and who your target audience is. So I just think, stop worrying about being a salesperson. Start looking at your business and going, am I confident that what I am selling is good? What am I offering? And is it top quality? Do people need this? And where are my target audience, so that I can get out there and speak to them and then talk to them passionately about what it is that I do? So, just in closing, you do not have to be the world's best salesperson to grow your own business. You just need to be really clear about what it is that you're offering, who your target audience is, and then just be yourself. Just be really genuine about what it is that you do, and passionate. Love what you do. Enjoy it. It's your baby, your business. Be clear on your value and have the confidence to own it. And if you need a little confidence pick me up, then get in touch, because I am definitely all about motivating and giving people confidence. Victory or Valhalla, guys.